Good evening. It's your girl Manina with Legacy Book Bar. Tonight is episode 6 of the Sip and Chat. Tonight I went all the way across to the West Coast to get this author, Miss Donna Michelle Ramos. Miss Ramos, tell everyone hi.
Hey, everybody. Time to start the weekend.
Absolutely. And after the week I have had, it is definitely a cheers to the weekend type of Friday. So how has your week been?
My week's been good. It's been busy. I've been working on my 11th book. And so I've been, it'll be out. The ebook is called Can't Let Go. It's a Black woman, white man book. And it will be live probably no later than the 16th. I'm just waiting to get the last set of revisions back and sign off on them. And then I guess soon it'll be uploaded to Kindle.
Nice. Very, very nice. I'll be making sure as a fan, I am ready to hit buy me on my tablet.
Yeah, the hard copy will be out right before Thanksgiving.
Okay, well, Legacy will definitely be on the lookout for that one. Yes.
I'll let you know.
This has been like the craziest week. 4 days a week, 11-hour days. And
oh no.
It started it's like Saturday was, everyone knows I was at White Marsh Mall doing the pop-up. And then Sunday, I was at Gwen Oak Park doing the 3rd annual Baltimore Black Book Expo, which was phenomenal. Now, granted, it was at the park, so that was the secondary location due to COVID, and I had a ball. It was amazing turnout. The weather was nice. It did not rain.
Which you always worry about.
You always worry about with outside events. Absolutely. And the lady that put it together, Miss Andrea Jones, she was so personable, so super nice. So Legacy cannot wait to go back in February. COVID lets us be great.
And we can hope.
I don't want to be outside in February, but I did tell him I did tell him we get some fire pits. We might be able to make it work outside. So we'll see. So for those that didn't, you can go to social media and see some of the pictures that I personally took of the Baltimore Black Book Expo. It was an amazing event. If you are an author here in the DMV and you want to participate in the 4th annual, check around on social media when they start the registration and, sign up to join the book expo. So I have Miss Donna Michelle Ramos. I mean, for me, I'm still a fan. I'm a bookstore owner, of course, but I am a fan when I get a new author submission. And I was like, okay, I got someone else in romance, and I'm just steadily attracting these authors. And then I find out she is all the way in the West Coast. I was bored. I was like, somebody in Cali wants to work with me. It was great. It was super humbling. I know we got Chocolate in the City 1 that came to the store first. So let's talk about you. Give the audience, tell us who you are. Talk to us.
Well, I am, I've been writing since, 4th grade is when I first got started writing. I wrote a composition. The teacher thought it was good. She showed it to, hi, Karen. She showed it to the principal. He thought it was good, so he read it through on the PA system through the whole school. Mm-hmm. And so by the time I got to lunch, everybody knew it was me. So I was like a little mini star. So I liked that. So I was like, I'm gonna keep writing, Okay. And then by the time I got to high school, I wrote a lot of kids' books. By the time I got to high school, I was into boys and you know,
Mm-hmm.
and so the writing kind of went to the side. So I almost did get a book deal, but when they found out how old I was, they told my mother to bring me back when I was at least 15, 16, because at the
Oh.
time I was 9, and they said we cannot do a contract with a baby. So
Mm.
yeah, but you know, I'm from New York, so I was working on Wall Street right out of high school at a bank, and all the ladies were into these romance novels, and
Mm-hmm.
they got me into them. And after reading them for a few years, I was like, I think I kind of figured this formula out. I could do this, you know. And so I started writing myself, and
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know what to do with this stuff, you know, because then there was no self-publishing, no outlets, no,
Right.
you know, just nothing. So I
Mm.
just would do all this writing, and literally I had shopping bags of manuscripts in the closet.
Mm.
So fast forward, we moved out here in 2005. I finally, I did a lot of research, and I finally figured out how to self-publish.
Okay.
Self-published my first book, High Rise, which I to this day don't know how that happened, but you know, God is good, and it debuted on Essence bestseller list and Black Book Plus bestseller list.
Very
It's
nice.
crazy because
Amazing.
yeah,
Yes.
thank you. I didn't know what I was doing. And you know, when you it's sometimes ignorance is bliss, because if you don't know, it's
Mm-hmm.
actually good, because you're too stupid to know what you're up against. I had not a clue until
Mm.
I started trying to do book signings at bookstores, and people are not nice. I had literally had people say to me, your book is $26.50. Nobody's gonna pay that for you. You're a nobody. I mean, I actually have people look me dead in the face and say that.
Wow.
Hurt my feelings. I go outside, cry in the car, and then I come home. But I knew the book was good because the people around me that read it, bits and pieces of it, was, you know, like, finish it, hurry up. We want to, you know,
Mm-hmm.
read the rest of it when I was writing it. So I knew people liked it. People would call me, tell me they were crying, and or they were
Mm.
mad, or they're ready to kick this person's butt. So I was like, this is good. You know, they're getting the emotion that I'm putting into it. So I must be doing
Mm-hmm.
something right. So I just
Right.
was too dumb to stop, and I just kept going.
And
And
look at
so
you
that
now.
happened. Yeah. So it was funny because I just want to tell everybody that I learned a valuable lesson. And the lesson that I learned was, if something you want and you want it really bad and it doesn't pan out, don't freak out over it, because a lot of times you think it's the best thing for you, but it's not.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened was, I tried to get into, well, I had gotten into Barnes and Noble. I can't remember
Mm-hmm.
what one it was now, but it was the big one where all the stars do their signing. I can't remember the address now. And Barnes and Noble corporate okayed it. And they said, all you have to do is call the manager at the store and work,
Mm-hmm.
you know, a day and time out with him. And I kept missing him, and we played phone tag for at least a week. Finally, he left me this very nasty message, and basically he said, I do not want you in my store. And I was just like,
Mm-hmm.
who leaves a voicemail like that? Like, that's not even professional, you know? So
Right.
basically, he was tired of me calling him. And I was like, but
Mm.
wait a minute, the corporate okayed it. How are you going to say no?
Right.
So I was very sad over that, you know? And then I did really good out here. There was a big record store, Tower. Was real big on the West Coast. And I had my first
Okay.
book signing at their bookstore. And I sold everything out. And they called me. They said, people are still coming in for your book. Bring us some more. So the manager, Pam, she said, you did so good. Just let me know where you want to do the next one in New
Mm-hmm.
York, at the Tower in New York. And I will, you know, so I called, she gave me the guy's name and everything. And he basically told me the same thing. I don't want you in my store. You know, he said, this is a music store primarily. I said, but you do have a book section. It's small, but he's
Right.
like, yeah, well, no, whatever. So I told her that, and she was like, no, you know, I will take care of this, and I will make sure, you know, that you get in, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then I thought about it, and I said, if this man doesn't want me in his store, I don't want him treating the people that come bad because he doesn't want to send them, you know. So I wound up saying, you know what, I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna do that. So I was very upset. My cousin said, you need to call Human Books up in Harlem. That's where all the Black stars have their book signing. So I called them, I got in, and that is how I wound up on the Essence bestseller list, because unknown to me, there's a rotating list. There's a list of Black bookstores, and every month they rotate who they take the report from. And the month that I had my signing wound up being the month that they reported to Essence, and I also was the highest seller that month. So if those other people, if I had gotten in at the other places, I would never have been on that list.
So yes, so silver lining.
That taught me a lesson.
Absolutely, and that story is one of, unfortunately, it's a story that we hear from so many of our Black authors, and one of the main reasons I created Legacy BookBar. We don't get an opportunity to be in stores like Barnes and Nobles and Books A Million. And we are so talented. Yes. And it's a shame that we aren't taken seriously. So as an avid reader of genres, and I like to go into a bookstore. I want to pick them up and flip them over and look at the cover and say, okay, how much did you bring today? Can you get 4 books or can you get 6? Like, I want to have that experience, but I can't find the new author, or let me go read. Like, you can't find that. So, when I was going through this journey of creating a bookstore, and people would say, well, why would you open up a bookstore? That you got Amazon and Barnes and Nobles. And I say the same reason they have McDonald's and Burger King. People can have choices to go wherever they want to go. And I remember where I was listening, part of that devil on one side was listening too much to the naysayers. And Tyler Perry opened up his movie studio in Georgia. And I remember his statement, and he said, I got tired of not being asked to the table, so I created my own. And I said that was what I needed in that moment. I'm tired of trying to find what I want to read and what I know others like me want to read. So I'm going to create my own bookstore, and I'm going to have a serviceable need. So it's I commend you for not letting the first 2 stores and outlets derail you. And you say, nope, I'm just going to go to the next one. Granted, the rejection, and sometimes it will definitely hurt. But then you keep plugging, and then look what amazing opportunity came because of the nastiness, and every time you get knocked down, you get something amazing that comes from it. So I commend you. It is amazing. And you're one of millions of Black authors that will all have a very, very similar story. So I know earlier you mentioned when you got your first romance novel. Do you remember what your first romance novel was?
I don't remember the first one. I remember there were 3 authors that I loved them to death, and whatever they made, I bought. It was Rosemary Rogers, Kathleen Woody Weiss, and oh my God, I forgot the other one. But it was 3 of them, and whatever they did, I was on it because I loved their books to death. They were all historicals. I love historicals.
Was it if you're in that genre, was it Catherine Coulter by chance?
No, it was oh my God.
Amanda Quick?
No, I know those names, but it wasn't any of them. Like I said, it was Kathleen Woody Weiss. She wrote books like The Wolf and the Dove, The Flame and the Flower. Really, really good books. I mean, like every now and then I go back and read them, like every 5-10 years, because they were just so good.
Right.
And that is who I I guess subconsciously patting myself after because my books are huge.
And those authors did write some very thick books.
Yeah,
I remember
books like that, And
I remember taking them off my mom's shelf.
Yeah, High Rise was 600 pages. My first book was 600 pages, and the sequel, which I didn't think I needed a sequel, but the book was so big. But people kept emailing me, so the sequel, Scandalous, is probably close to 500 pages.
Oh wow, okay.
And I still have the third installment of that, which I'm working on, called Madness and Mayhem, which will finish out the High Rise trilogy. Excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you. That'll be sometime next year. So and I can finish that finish that trilogy out. But the people that I was reading, like I said, I figured out the formula, and I was like, this is not that hard, and my imagination is always going. So it was real easy to do it.
No, I get a lot of questions when I'm at the pop-ups, and like yourself, like I in my idea, I know. Kind of like we always joke with Hallmark, like they all have the same plot and storyline, but they're all different. And it doesn't matter how they're going to end, what's going to happen, but I still want to see the movie. And people say, "Don't you want to write a book?" Absolutely not. That is not. No, I'm good. They was like, "No, but you're so." No, I'm going to be so creative in selling these books that I'm going to leave the writing to the people that are.
You want to do the enjoyable thing. You want to read.
Right. I just want to read it. I do not want to write. No.
And writing is fun, but everything after that is not fun. Like the editing is not fun. The read, sending it back and forth 55 times is not fun. And the marketing is not fun, But if it's your passion, then you just go with it, So it has to be something that you really love doing,
Absolutely.
It's not for somebody who it's not their thing, it's just not,
Absolutely.
But if it is, like I'm up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning writing, Like I was just telling my aunt yesterday, she was asking me, do I have a special room I write in? I was like, I write all over the house. I was like, I write all hours. I don't have no special, it's just whenever stuff comes to me, I remember when I was working, it was horrible because just as I'm ready to fall asleep, all the stuff will come in my head. And it's like, oh my God, now I got to get up and write this stuff, Oh, Karen, Captain Whitney's. Yes, that stuff is so good.
So Karen is our #1 fan of Legacy BookBar. Why? Because she's my mom, and that's what you're supposed to do. So I remember my mom reading Catherine Woodawise, Catherine Coulter, Amanda Quick, Bertrice
Rosemary
Small.
Rogers, and I'm gonna remember that third one because it's gonna drive me crazy now.
Yes, I remember taking her books and going into sneaking till I was and going into my room and then reading those books and then I remember then when she introduced me to Black authors that wrote romance, and then I was like, "Oh, whoa! What is that?"
Because now at that time there were none. I found one book. To this day I've been trying to find it. I can't find it, but it was by an author, and the name of the book was Nate's Lady, and it was about a black guy and a black woman during slavery times. And it was so good, and I can't find it. I'm pretty sure it's out of print. I have not been able to find it anywhere.
Was the guy? No, you said Nate's Lady.
Nate's Lady. That was the name of it. But and there's another book I read when I was pregnant with my son that was so good, and I can't remember the name of that. But it was an Egyptian, because I love historical. It was an Egyptian book, and oh my God, that story was she was the queen, she was like, it wasn't Nefertiri, it was Nefer somebody, It was a Nefer somebody I never heard of. But basically, she was the queen of that time and all the stuff that
Right,
went on.
right.
And that story was unreal, and I can't find that anywhere. There's some that I'm just would love to find to read again.
Yeah. So Karen just actually put in the chat. Back then, there were no Black authors, and that was very true. That there were none until I want to say the mid '90s when it became more noticeable that Black authors. And I remember the top 3 or 4 for me was, of course, Beverly Jenkins and Brenda Jackson. Then you had Frances Ray, you had Rochelle Ayers, and then I remember
Beverly Jenkins is the one I remember. I remember her the most.
And actually,
but the other one you said too. What was the second one you said?
Brenda Jackson.
Yeah, I think I do remember seeing her. Because one time I'm on Beverly's page. I was writing back and forth to her probably when I first joined her page, and I thought she was the one that had written Nate's Lady, but she wasn't. So
now I can see where, because I thought about that too, because Beverly Jenkins writes Black historical romances.
Right.
And then I was thinking, wait, that sounds very similar to Night Song. And I was thinking,
yeah, she told me she had somebody with the book in her book named Nate. But when she broke down the book to me, I was like, that wasn't the same book.
Right.
But yes, I just said it would have to be her because she was the only one that was writing it. But that's why I said it's something that I don't know if this is the only book that person wrote, because it just seems like it's no longer in print. I cannot find it anywhere.
Oh no, I hate that because I've gone on.
Love to find that book.
I remember my first romance, different books as a kid, and then they went out of print, and then happened to find it at a very small print shop, and was like, oh my god,
yeah, it's like finding a buried treasure.
Absolutely. So your writing career has been extensive. How many books do you have in print now?
I have 11, counting the latest one that'll be out next week. Yeah, 11. I have. I'm sorry.
No, go right ahead.
No, I just was going to say I have 11 in print. Like 8 of them are romance novels. One is a tweener book, Dear Diary, not quite. And also I have 3 sci-fi mysteries. It's a set again that I wrote with my with another author, and it's a genre I never would think to write, but I loved writing it. And it's about it's called Absorption. And it's about a weird kind of bullet, and once it gets into the body, what it does to the body. And this Black female police detective from LA, she's in Vegas on vacation, and a serial killer emerges and just obliterates these people at this big event. And she winds up, since she was there, like trying to help, and she gets into it. And then they chase him from Vegas. The next book is Absorption Miami. They chase him to Miami. And then the next book is Absorption New York. They chase him to New York. And then the book culminates back in LA. The last book, Absorption LA, which is my partner, my writing partner, he's working on it now. And then when he finishes his part, he'll give it to me, and I'll put my little part in. And so that'll be out sometime next year as well. That'll be the end of that 4-book series.
So I'm hoping that other authors or aspiring authors are listening. You do not have to be handpicked to one particular genre.
No.
Step out on that limb and try other genres to see how it goes, because you probably would be very surprised with the response and the outcomes when you step a little bit out on faith. So I like that. And Absorption sounds very, very interesting. So I will personally be checking that out. I can't, because everyone knows I'm a fan of reading. So as a store owner, I try to pride myself when people say, well, what's this book about? And I don't have to say, oh, we can just turn those to the back of the book and read it. And I'm like, oh, let me tell you about this book. Like, I want to be that bookstore owner while I'm, still small and very independent, where I can be that hands-on with all of the books that come into the store.
And it's fun when you can connect with people like that.
Absolutely.
Like
Absolutely.
this pandemic it's made me crazy because I have not done a book signing. And oh my God, I don't. Last year when Chocolate and City came out in October, I did a small book signing, for friends and family. But all the big ones were scheduled because I always do them on the East Coast because I'm from the East Coast.
Right.
So I always do them on the East Coast. And like Chocolate in the City never got to the East Coast because, I had everything planned for this year. And then so the new book, Chocolate in the City 2, also that hasn't gotten, out there. So thanks to you, I now have an East Coast presence.
Yes, yes,
So I appreciate that.
So this tells the authors that, networking,
yes,
having options. Now, I will say, as a bookstore owner, I come across quite a few authors that say, "Oh, I admire what you do, but I need to keep all of the sales that I sell on my books," and I understand that. But then on the flip side, you have the mantra of multiple streams of income. So for a small amount of books, no, you are not getting full price of your book. But if you are in a completely different state, maybe even a different country, that is an entire network of people that now have access to your books, because now they might host a book club, or they're going to tell their friends like, "Oh my gosh, I purchased this book from this Black bookstore and I got this romance and this book was so good and I'm about to get book 2. Hey, you go on the website and you go get book 1 and 2 so we could talk about it together." And now you've sold. I have so many authors, especially the ones that have signed to Legacy at the beginning part of the year, that has had to restock at least 4 times. And the year is not even over yet. And it's I'm not gonna say it's a gamble, but you have to trust the work that you've done and then trust where you're sending your books to. And I want to say, for those that are a part of Legacy BookBar, I'm very humbled and very thankful that you guys have trusted me with your works. And this is why I try to post all of the pictures when I go to the pop-up, so you can say, "Look, I'm really selling your books." Here, I'm really selling it. Like, here, look.
Well, I like that you always tag me, with the picture of the person holding the book. I'm like, this is awesome.
Absolutely.
It's exciting because you can't be there. And now that everybody's so shut in, it's just like, well, at least my book is making the rounds if I'm stuck in the house.
Exactly. I had one of my authors, she is in North Carolina, and she was like, "Am I restocking again?" I'm like, "Yes, ma'am, you are. Please run me my books, ma'am. Please. Thank you." And she's like, "This is crazy. The books that you're able to sell at your pop-ups or via online, people," and she's from Baltimore. So she's like, "The DMV is popping right now."
Yeah,
and I said, part of the good thing about COVID is, I had to sit down. I had to revamp a lot of the marketing that I originally had planned. Like you, I had a lot of pop-ups set for coming into spring and summer. And of course that it had to cancel those. Yeah. So I said, how can I still make my presence felt and still get these authors, their books sold, because February the 1st of 2020, I pushed publish on the bookstore. March, COVID hit. So
yes.
So that was like,
yeah, like really?
What do you mean it's a global pandemic and I just opened up a bookstore? What do you mean? but then one of the things I had to sit back and say, okay, this is clearly a test. And every small business owner, no matter what your business is, all at some point have this massive test. And if you can pass this test, you know that your business will survive whatever comes their way. So the fact that I am still surviving in the
it's wonderful. Because I personally know a lot of bookstores that have,
unfortunately. And not just bookstores, quite a few.
Any kind of small businesses. Yeah.
Yes, I know small restaurants here in Baltimore that have unfortunately had to close because the people aren't comfortable and it's not safe and you can only have a certain amount. So, here's the one thing, with online businesses and social media, this is the new wave of business dealings now, is online and social media. So
yes,
for all of our fans that are listening, I know myself and Donna have all shared this broadcast to their personal pages. So if you are interested in purchasing Chocolate in the City 1 and 2, you are more than welcome and encouraged to go to www.legacybookbar.com. Later on in this broadcast, I'm actually going to have Donna read 2 pages, some of her funny pages from the books here on the broadcast. So you can kind of get a sneak peek on her books. And then, of course, come 2021, she will be invited back and we will be doing a virtual book club. So we want you to support the bookstore, Black owned, and then, of course, support our Black authors that are self-published. So you get a twofer when you actually purchase books from Legacy Book Bar. So I had a question, like your biggest success in your writing career. And I feel like Essence probably topped or the top 3 of your writing career.
That was
amazing.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
And then I've been really fortunate. I've had a lot of really wonderful things happen to me. 2017, I got an award for Author of the Year. And it was a consortium of different organizations. It was like the NAACP, and then it was oh my God, I'm going blank. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
But it was. I mean, they told me to come to the event, because I won an award as an author. So I was excited. I thought it would be like, I was one of, so many authors, and then when they give me the plaque, it said Author of the Year, and I was just like, oh my God, this is like. I can't even talk now.
Oh wow!
So it was awesome. It was just so awesome, and I've been asked to participate and speak at a lot of things, which were very prestigious here in California. The city library asked me to participate in a huge annual fundraiser they have every year called Authors on the Move.
Okay.
And I mean, the sad thing was it was just me and one other Black person. And the only reason I got on there was because there was a Black person on the committee, and she was trying to get people on, and I guess it wasn't happening. And then one person dropped out. She just shoved me in there. So that was we gotta look out for each other. We got to look out for each other, and that was a wonderful, because I'd never been to an event like that or been part of, the chosen ones for the event. So that was awesome. I wound up with an article, a picture and a quote in the magazine here, which I didn't even know that was going to happen. So it's a lot of good things. And then from me doing my writing workshops, I have met so many people, and since writing is my passion, I love to help people when they're trying to work on stuff or they stuck or whatever. And because the main thing everybody says to me at book signings is, I want to write and I don't know how, or I want to write and I'm stuck, or but
Mm-hmm.
and so I started doing workshops and they went great. I was doing them quarterly and they
Mm.
were different. So in a year, you'd learn everything you need to know. Like the first workshop was beginning writing, and then the second one
Mm-hmm.
was my book is finished now, which was on publishing and everything
Mm.
like that. And the last one was on agents, authors, and marketing and advertising. So that was like over a year. And then in 2013, I actually put together a literary conference and it was sold out. And it was crazy because nobody knew me, but it's amazing how many people
The
write
need is there.
and want to
Exactly.
write. Yeah, it was wonderful.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was wonderful.
Absolutely.
I've had a
So,
lot of really wonderful things happen to me. Um, and I know it's all a byproduct of working hard and writing. And
absolutely.
so like I said,
Absolutely.
if it's your passion, the stuff will come to you because people email me all the time. I'm like, how do they even know about me?
I
But
get it.
they asking me to do this and come here and do that. So I'm like, this is wonderful. So,
And I mean,
if you
we
do
have to
good
pay it
work,
forward. Absolutely.
yeah,
I say we have to pay
yeah,
it forward, and the hard work
exactly.
will
And
come.
I try very hard to, because I've had a lot of people that when I started, I didn't have a clue. I was able to go to, and they were like, hey, do A, B, C, and D, and you'll
Absolutely.
be fine. The
Absolutely.
first thing I ever went to, I had a author, and he said, he broke some stuff down to me, and he literally saved me 8 months worth of work.
I love it.
And he
I
said, if
love
you have
it.
any questions, here's my number. You can always call me.
Mm-hmm.
His book was so good that he self-published it, but it was so good and it sold so well. He's in the Bay Area in San Francisco. That Barnes
Okay.
and Noble reprinted his book, and they
Wow.
took over everything for his book.
I feel
And
like I need to
so,
make a trip to the Bay Area when COVID is lifted.
oh no, really,
There's a
you
lot
really
of
should
going
come
on
out
out there.
here. Really, no, you really should
Absolutely.
come out
Absolutely. So I know how you
here.
mentioned the need and the talent for the authors. And I know my parents and my family is such huge fans of wanting to come out and start my own business. And my dad, he's like my quiet observer. He's like he's my guardian, him and my husband, where they're just like, all right, if something happens, whatever side she fall, that's who'll get her, right? So my dad, for the first time, he's been to one of the pop-ups at the mall, right? But it was just me. And then Sunday he actually came to the book expo, and he was in such amazement about the number of Black authors. Now keep in mind, the original event was supposed to be September 19th. And I'm pretty sure because I went to the one in February, and I want to say they had probably 30 authors at the one in February. So they were probably going to have the same amount for September. And then, of course, because of COVID happened, a bunch of authors probably dropped out, which totally understand because you have to be safe in these times. Totally get it. I knew it was going to be outside. So I said, I got a tent. I got hand sanitizer, mask. We going to make it work. Plus, I really, really wanted to support and be a part of it.
Yeah.
So when he came and he walked through, and it was the line of tables, and he was like, so wait, all of these are authors? And now again, some of them are still like, they're kind of trickling in and are setting up. And I said, I think so. I said, well, I don't write, I sell. So I'm here as a bookstore, but I think everyone here is an author. And he's like, no way. And I'm like, it's the Black Book Expo. Everybody's Black. So that's to tell you. And then we come to find out there was another lady that was there. She also is from Baltimore and had an online bookstore, and she sold primarily children's books. So her and I got to networking, but I told my dad, go walk around, meet the people. You would be surprised. So now he has a brighter like disposition now, and he's like, oh my gosh. I said, makes you want to come to the next one, doesn't it?
That's so cute.
And I said, my dad is my unofficial historian of all Black history. And we joke around and call him Neil deGrasse for the information that he can read and retain. And finding other authors that wrote in that similar genre, he was like, I said, I know. I lived with you all my life until I got married. So I knew there were authors out here in that same field. I said, this is why I preach the importance of social media. You will be surprised who you can find in your genre. So now he's like, I was like, what, you want to be on the board of directors now so you can go to all the My dad and I, my parents and I, we have an amazing, very funny relationship. So it was funny, but it made him, I think he told my mom, it made him stand up just a little bit taller, being like, oh, she got this. So I tell everyone in this industry, do not be afraid to write. The public is waiting for that next story. Yeah. And once that book is written, you already know you have a home to sell your books. So don't be afraid. So if anything, let this broadcast and all the ones before and after let you know that there's a home, there is a need. Get your pen and paper and start writing. So that's my segue. So, and I like to read. So let's go, chop, chop, write your story. So before we hop into the segment where we talk about your books, let's talk about what are your best resources for your writing and getting your books out and what you use. So let's tell some of the authors what they can use to get their books out there.
Okay. I would say when my first book I published I did 3 months of research, and I narrowed it down to like 3 different bookstores. I mean, not bookstores, book publishers.
Okay.
I just want to caution everybody. Seriously, it's not a joke. Read the fine print.
Absolutely.
Because what I did was, before I went with anybody, if I thought they were good, I printed out all of the contract, and it was a lot. And I literally read every page. And you really got to read it because there's stuff embedded in there. There were 2 that basically owned the rights to your book.
Yes.
And the one I went with said within 30 days, you send us a letter, and in 30 days, we will stop printing your book and you take it and do whatever you want with it. So basically, you take the rights. That's something that's very important. Also, you don't want to be stuck in a contract with anybody, because what happens is, suppose you get the eye of some big publisher and they want to do the second printing of your book and do your subsequent books, but you're tied down to this place for 3 years or 4 years. That big publisher is not going to wait, and they're also not going to buy you out of your contract. So now you lose out. So you really have to be careful. I know it's very exciting when you think somebody wants your work and they're going to publish it. Oh my God, this is it. But the problem with that is you really, really, really got to pay attention. And the company I went with for my first book, when I was ready to do the second book, I did a lot more checking and realized, I'm not staying with them, because they were charging me a fortune to buy my book to sell at book signings. I mean, a fortune they were charging me. Like High Rise was $26.50 or $26, and I was paying like almost $14 to buy a copy. I mean, like, how can I afford to get inventory to sell when I got to give you $300-$400 just to get like 20 books? It's like, it's insane. Right. So, but yeah, by the time you add the shipping on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's well over $300 for 20 books. That makes no sense.
Absolutely.
No sense at all. So
Mm-hmm.
I went with the KDP, which is Kindle Direct
Mm-hmm.
Publishing, which is a subsidiary of Amazon, which a lot
Mm-hmm.
of people complain about Amazon, what have you. What I like about Amazon's print on demand section is, number one, your book automatically is put all over their website.
Absolutely.
Write a Kindle, bam, it's there. You write a paperback, bam, it's there. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and it's there. It's worldwide. You can
Mm-hmm.
find it on Kindle, United Kingdom. You can find it on Amazon, India. I mean, Australia. It's all. I've gotten book reviews from all over. So
Mm.
that's something that for you to do on your own is just basically next to impossible unless you got a lot of industry contacts.
Right.
Also, to buy copies of your book, it's reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that therefore, if you, especially me, I got 11 books. If I have to buy even 5 copies of each book, I mean, I would have to probably sell a kid. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it gets really pricey if it's not a reasonable price for you.
Right.
So that's the other thing to look at too. And they also, you get your book in a decent amount of time.
Mm.
The other thing I found was, yes, a lot of places that print, but that's all they do is print. They'll print the books and then dump a box at your door, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
You have to figure out how to get your book on Amazon, how to get it on all these other sites,
Right.
and then you have to figure out how to market and what have you. At least, like I said, with Amazon, it's like, hey, if you don't want to buy the book from me, it's on Amazon. You can download it, or you could order it from Amazon. And it's just easier for you, especially just starting out. Now, once you're really into it and you've been doing it for a while, yeah, there's nothing wrong with looking around and finding other avenues.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, for somebody starting out,
Mm-hmm.
it's the easiest way to go.
Okay. So I know the authors that we had on before you, I wouldn't say all of them were, or maybe 5 were all self-published, and they all had a very similar story. Contracts from the more traditional publishing wanted too much of their royalties, if not almost all of it.
Yep.
Using Amazon and smaller local printing companies for their books. I always tell people, do your research. It took me 9 months to come up with the idea, how, the whys, the whats, the whens, to even get started. And that was before I even had a tax LLC ID number. And then going forward, that was another 9 months. So do your research when you are starting this business. I always tell people, if I were to write a book, I would self-publish. That's my personal choice. Because I want back what I'm putting into it. And then you are responsible for your marketing. But this was one of the highlights of what I tell my authors, that once you sign, it's not like, oh, your book is just in the store. I market the author, I market the book, I market the genre. I do as much visibility as I can, because I know that's what's going to draw attention to the store, to the author, to the book. And if you're going to go the self-published route, you have to be ready to handle the marketing, because how are you now? Because once your book is printed, you are responsible for getting it out to the masses. Now, I have one author that she wrote the book. She said, I am not doing anything. I'm just going to, you tell me what I need to restock, and I'm going to restock. And that is all I'm planning on doing. That is what you're comfortable with? Absolutely, sis. I got you. You tell me what you want. But be mindful of your strengths, your weaknesses, how much money you have to put out. All of those things are a factor when starting a business, writing your book, whatever it is you want to do. I know Legacy gets a lot of emails and a lot of calls on, oh, well, do you publish books? That is not a field as of right now Legacy is going to go into, but we are affiliated with a self-publishing company. So I know if you are watching this broadcast, if you're sharing the broadcast, if you know someone that is in the process and they want to self-publish, I will tell anybody, go to divinelegacypublishing.com. They have well over 40 authors alone in multiple genres that are signed to that self-publishing company, and at least 6 of their authors are signed to the store today. So, you know, do your research, do your homework, make it happen, you know.
Yeah, so. You have to me, I don't see why somebody would do all this work and then not do anything, because it's like you did all that work and nobody knows you did it. They're not going to know osmosis, you know. So
right.
Unless you tell people, and you know, you always got to be grinding. You always have to be grinding. You know, people don't know. I have a girlfriend that, and this is something to let your self-published authors know as well. I never would have thought to do this, but my friend April, she's the one that made my first website. She made my Twitter. She like, you need to have this, you need to have that. You know, she's real good with marketing. And I'm just looking at her like, girl, you're speaking a foreign language. All I know how to do is write. I write my heart out and I'll push it once it's out. But all this other stuff, I'm not good with. And she said, you should always have your books with you. And that's something that's very simple, but I never would have thought to do that. And she says, people find out you're an author half of the time. They're going to want your book
right then.
The fact that they're talking to an author is mind blowing to them. And it's like, oh, let me get a book. And they're like, she's like, don't tell me that hasn't happened to you. I said, it has. She said, well, look at all the opportunities you're blowing. So I went and got a cute little, maybe about that big, that wide, that high. Oh no, get my name in the way. There we go. I'm trying to work this thing here. But anyway, maybe double the size of those plastic shoe boxes. And I put my books in there and I keep them in the trunk. And yeah, every couple of months I have to restock it because yes, people do want, you know, copies of the book. And they're very excited when I say, yeah, I do have some, you know. So that's a way that you could be getting your work out there and didn't even think about it. And it's not costing you anything. My friends and family, I love them to death. And they'll tell everybody, she's an author. She's an author. I'm just stop. That's like embarrassing.
Well, that's how you're going to get the book.
And a lot of the time people go, really? And then again, you have books with you, you know? So that might be an overlooked way to indirect marketing that nobody's thought of, because I never thought of it until April. You know, she just stayed on my back till I started carrying the books.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's something people can keep in mind.
In a couple of seconds, we're going to go right into your book, but I do want to acknowledge some of the comments in the section, some of the comments in the comment section. I have Lawrence DJ Larry Alston. He is a very, very good friend of mine. He is the husband of my best friend. He said, hey, Menina, thank you so much for your support, sir. I appreciate it. I have Spoiled Rotten Harper, who is my EWBI sister, and EWBI stands for Empowered Women in Business International. We are a sisterhood of women in professional businesses, and we are in the Baltimore area, and we are working diligently within our communities with community services and advocacy, and we just do a lot to get our names out there. And we want like-minded women that want to help themselves, help their other sisters. We are a very small but close-knit family. And Ms. Harper is our community service and advocacy committee chair, where I am the vice president of the chapter as well as membership committee. We wear a lot of hats here. So I will tell anybody, if you are looking for a sisterhood to join, to network with, to be a part of a growing organization, I will tell anybody to go to www.ewbiradio.org. Go through the website. We have some amazing virtual events that are happening. And you can get some more feedback. And I will talk a little bit about those events because I am a part of the event. So I'll talk about it later in the broadcast. So, and again, Spoiled Rotten, Miss Dondra, thank you so much. So let's go into, got to figure out which side my book's wrong. There we go. So I have a copy of Chocolate in the City. And I must tell you, I love my authors that send the bookmarks with their books. I don't know why that touches me so much. And at first I was like, maybe because, I'm so silly and I'm such a nerd. But to me, bookmarks are just like the cutest thing on the planet, right? So I said, no, it's just me. My husband keeps looking at me like, but it's a bookmark. I'm like, but you don't understand. They sent bookmarks with their books. Like, you don't get it, right? So then, of course, I go to the pop-ups and I have your books all on the tables. And then they go by and they pick them up. And then I've actually had someone say, I'm going to buy this only because you have a bookmark in the book. So which made me say, I am not the only one that feels this way. That bookmarks are super cute. And it's like, oh, like a small gift within like, oh. So I love it. It's such a fangirl moment, but it's just me. So
that's like when you're little and you get the prize in the cereal.
Yes, me getting the bookmark in the book is my prize in the cereal box. Absolutely, absolutely. So let's talk about Chocolate in the City. Let's tell the fans what this book is about.
Well, I tell people, I ask people this question. I said, what happens when you mix the movie Girls Trip and the movie Sex and the City? You get Chocolate in the City. It's like if those two movies had a baby, it would be Chocolate in the City. Would be
okay.
It's like Sex in the City with flavor,
Okay.
So there was no flavor up in there at all, It was just all like milk, no flavor whatsoever in Sex and the City ever. If you think about it, for all of us that watched it and loved it, there was none of us in there anywhere. Except for the movie version when they put Jennifer Hudson in to be her.
Well, remember, Miranda did date Blair Underwood for like 4 episodes.
Yeah. That was like if you blinked, you missed it. It was over.
Right.
So, but like I said, in terms of the camaraderie with women, there was none. I mean, that show was on, I don't remember how many seasons. It was a lot. And there was they never even had a friend, a distant friend that they saw once in a while. You see what I'm saying? So, but, I thought I said, like, we're not represented there at all. And we have that kind of, we have that kind of, we have that kind of bond,
right,
that they had. So, I just based it literally on my 3 best girlfriends. My best girlfriend, Marilyn, Zarilyn name is taken from her. My best girlfriend, Bertha, BB is taken from her. And exactly, Karen, exactly. And there's so many of us running around in New York City. It's just like unbelievable. But Friends was the same way too. They finally put Aisha Tyler in there, but I was like, yeah, okay. Like that was because so many people complained. But yeah, so and then my friend Bertha, BB, the name comes from her, and then also Michelle, my friend Michelle, Lachelle, her name is a variation of hers. But they're not representative of them, but the friendship between the 4 of us is definitely reflected, in the story. So we're like there for each other no matter what. We've been with each other through births and divorces and marriages and just everything. The girls are always there for you. We've been friends for years. Travel together, just everything. So
which is a true sisterhood of good girlfriends. That is awesome.
Yes. And we have that, I mean, so many people have that, but you really don't see it talked about or celebrated, and I don't know why, because that's a big deal. If you have somebody that you can count on no matter what, that's a big deal.
Absolutely.
That's a very big
Absolutely. So are you ready to read us those two
Yes, I am.
pages
I'm
of
going to
Chocolate
read
in the
you
City?
guys from the first book, Chocolate in the City. And the ladies are chit-chatting, they're hanging out together, and they're trying to figure out, you know, when they can get together and go out. So they finally found a perfect time to go out. And so after they got that taken care of, they decide it's time to get down and dirty. So um, Zari says, will you look at the time? It's spilled the tea time. Lachelle, what happened with you and Carl? You haven't mentioned him in a while. Oh, Carl, he was too gangster for me. I seem to remember you liking bad boys. That was one of the things that attracted you to him. Yes, it was, but I only like bad boys so much. What do you mean? It means I can be down with him, but only so far. So far as what? What is this, the third degree? I'm asking for a friend. Like hell you are. Your two friends are here now. Just kind of curious, since you two were so tight. Okay, well, if you must know, he wanted me to be all in. What's wrong with that? All in like marriage, right? No, like ride or die. I am not a ride or die chick. I need answers. Where are we riding to? Is there food there? Why I gotta die? Can I just be to go to work and you call me later chick? Michelle, you are so crazy. Only you could give a running commentary on being a ride or die chick. Sorry, I'm just asking questions no one else is smart enough to ask. I don't mind being down for my man, but I'm not dying for nobody. BB shakes her head, smiling. Don't even act like you'd be all in either, BB. You know you'd be out before me. Yeah, I would. I'm with you. I'm not dying for nobody. Nobody's already prompts. Nobody. I don't care how well they handle business in bed. Yes, Michelle chimes in. My point exactly. I know we're not talking about literally dying, but in thug life, they are serious about it. That's not, nor has it ever been for me. I like a little bad boy in me from time to time, but that's as far as I go. I'm not your baby mama. I'm not visiting you in jail. I'm not waiting for you to get out of jail. I'm not putting money on your books. I'm not holding you down. I am not putting my life on hold for yours. I didn't commit the crime. You did. And I'm not going on lockdown and doing time with you. You were dumb enough to do the crime and even dumber for getting caught. I'm not about that life. That part of it is not attractive to me at all. These women need to stop being ride or die, being a ride or die chick for a man that doesn't know where he's going. There could be a suicide mission. I'm just saying. I'm with you on that, girlfriend. I can stand a little thug on the side myself every now and then, but I go in knowing it's just for fun and it's going to be real quick romance. I'm never going to get sucked into all of that ruckus. That life, the problems and damage that come with it are not worth it. So it's true. What's true? You're not as dumb as you look.
No. Only a
Obviously
good
you
girlfriend
are.
can say that.
Right. Obviously you are, because your ass is mine now. Girl, you are going to pay for saying that. I'm so scared I'm shaking, Zari laughs. Not today. If you had any sense, you'd be scared, because you never know when or how I'll get you back, but I will. You know I never forget anything. So, in the words of your bestie, the Wicked Witch of Oz, I'll get you, my pretty, and your little dog too, huh? They crack up laughing. Laugh now, but you won't be laughing then, she replies ominously. BB taps lashes on his shoulder. You know she's really pissed at you. Yeah, I know. It's not the first time and it won't be the last. I couldn't help it. She's so easy. I can't resist pushing her buttons. Maybe you should try every now and then. You two are always going at it, and it's exhausting to be caught in the middle. I know, poor you. It's hard being Switzerland, huh? Okay, see, now I'm done with you too. BB laughs. You two are so sensitive. No, you play too much.
Well, Karen has already said, okay, she's ready to read Chocolate in the City. I think you got her when you said Girls Trip plus Sex in the City gets you Chocolate in the City.
Yeah.
So she
but
is
you know, that's what people say. That is a really good analogy because
absolutely
because that's really what it is. It's like I said, it's Sex in the City with flavor. And you know, I think, like I said, if Girls Trip and Sex in the City had a baby, it would be Chocolate in the City.
So that's tell the people, so people that you're going to watch this broadcast, that people are going to share it with their friends and their families. Does Chocolate, we're not going to give away all of Chocolate in the City 2 because we want them to purchase 1 and 2. Does Chocolate in the City 2 pick up where 1 leaves off?
Exactly. Yes, it does.
Nice.
And actually, Chocolate in the City 2 is a lot larger than Chocolate in the City. So like the first book is like an introduction, but the second book actually goes back and explains things and gives you detail. So, because Chocolate in the City is 180 pages, Chocolate in the City 2 is like 322 pages. So it's almost twice the size. So it gives you a lot more information. It flushes out the characters better, and it definitely has its share of drama, just like the first one.
Okay, so everyone
you're what's life without drama?
Exactly, and a little flavor. Exactly.
Yeah.
So everyone knows I posted in the chat. You know, if you want to purchase books 1 and 2, you can go to the website at www.legacybookbar.com. Now, unbeknownst to the fans here, Donna Michelle also has a website store for herself, and she actually sells a lot of merchandise related to Chocolate in the City. So I want her to pull out. I know she's got some totes, and she's actually wearing a shirt.
Well, I'm wearing the Chocolate in the City shirt.
Yes.
T-shirt. Okay. There's also a tank top. So there's different shirts for different books. So the first book with the red outfit, so that's the T-shirt, and then there's a mug, and there's a tote. And the second book with the pink dress has a lot of summer merchandise. So we have the chocolate tote bag. And the tote bag comes in about 6 different colors. This is also a pink tote bag. We also have, like I said, the tank top. And I didn't grab it. I grabbed it. Beach towel. Luggage tags. I'm trying to think. Mugs for both books. They're both totally different styles. And I know I'm leaving something major out, and I can't think what it is. But if you guys go on my website, everything is loaded on the website, so you'll be able to see.
What's your website?
Have custom. It's Donna Michelle with 1 L, Ramos.com. So everything is loaded on there, and also I have custom luggage covers, which are very nice because they are. If you have your suitcase has seen better days, you can cover it up. If you have a new suitcase and you don't want it to be, you have a new suitcase and you don't want it banged up, you know what it looks like when you get it back. You can put the covers on it. But the covers for the suitcase look exactly like the front cover of the book. So this book cover, and I don't know why I didn't think to roll them in here. I apologize for that. I didn't even think. But I don't know. They wouldn't fit in the frame anyway. But the large suitcase cover is this picture, and the small carry-on cover is this picture.
Awesome.
So I think they're not loaded on the website yet. I think they're still doing that. But if there's a contact thing, if people contact me, I can always get back to them. And the pictures should be loaded. I think at least by the end of the weekend. There's new stuff that we've gotten in that we need to get loaded on the. Well, I'm a little behind because I'm trying to push this new book out.
Understood.
Yeah,
so everyone heard you can purchase merchandise specifically for Chocolate in the City and her other books directly from her personal website at www.donnamichelleramos.com. I did post that in the chat. So as we are doing shares and replays, that link for that is in the chat. So this was an amazing, I'm so thankful that you were here tonight with me for episode 6. I had so much fun.
Thank you for having me.
It was going to be
and easy. It was nice to talk to people. Hi.
I know. So I always, after we get through so much, because we talk about a lot, even though it was an hour, it seems like we've been talking forever.
Yeah,
and I always, after we've gone through everything, I always sit back and I say, okay, I have to ask this of all of the authors because I want to get that real answer from my authors. So you have an extensive career in your writing. I know you're going to be writing for years to come. We've talked, you've got kids, you've got grandbabies, you've got great grandbabies. What do you want your legacy to be for them?
It's actually 2 parts. The first one was I wanted them to go to college.
Mm-hmm.
And I stopped because I got pregnant with my son and I was working, and then I got pregnant with my daughter. And so it was too hard. And, I tried to go and manage working full time, 2 babies, and it was just too much. But eventually I went back and I got my degree. I graduated 40 years old, but I graduated finally. And thank you. Had the nerve to get honors. And I don't know how I did that, but I did. And I just wanted them to see how important it was. So I'm happy to say that my son's kids, basically all of them went to college or in college. He has a set of twin girls. One has her own photography business that she's doing. And the other twin is in school right now getting her master's. So she got her associates, her bachelor's, and now she's getting her master's. Mm-hmm. His baby just turned 18. He's just started his first semester of college. And so I'm very happy that, they saw that. They were little when I was doing it, but they saw it. And that they're following along with that. And I would say the second thing is I just want to leave a written body of work that people enjoy, that what I like is when people say they identify with the characters, or I've had people say, oh my God, was you in my house the other day? Or was you hanging out with me and my girlfriends? Because I swear to God, that conversation was the exact one we had, stuff like that. So, or a relationship stuff, because I'm big on couples. And so there's so much that everybody knows that goes on when you're in a relationship, and sometimes stuff is good, sometimes it's bad, but sometimes it actually helps to see it in print and read it, because it's like, even though it's about you, it's not about you. So you're actually more open to it. And you can see it better. Like, if you're in a situation, it's hard to see it, but if you're looking in at something, you can see it better. And so I like that people are able to do that as well. That first book, High Rise, has domestic violence in it. And I kind of cringed and shied away from the couple because I just was like, this is so awful. But so many people have come up to me about that couple. So I knew that I was getting through to them, and maybe they were seeing themselves and they're realizing this ain't okay. So I just would like to leave. I want people to be entertained, but I also want them to take something away. And
gotcha. Okay.
So I would say that would probably be it. I'm sorry, I'm long-winded, but
it's okay. It's okay.
Well, you always used to tell me the short version. Short version, going all the way around.
They tell me the same thing too, so it's okay. Perfectly okay. Well, thank you so much for being a part of the Sip and Chat. You were an amazing guest. Just hang out with me for a little bit.
Oh, I'd love to.
More stuff to share with the fans. So, audience, I want you to cyber hand clap. Thank you so much to Donna for being a part. So, legacy has so much going on. It's like I feel like I need a whole episode just to talk about the amazing things that Legacy Book Bar is doing this last half of the year. So just bear with me while I'll go through all of that, okay?
Sure.
So, of course, you know, every Friday night at 9 o'clock, we have the Legacy Book Bar Sip and Chat. And next Friday, I will have author Nikki Cheris of Promises to Keep. And I want to say, I think it's A Twisted Love. I do apologize, but here is a copy of Promises to Keep. She is a self-published author. She has self-published her work through Divine Legacy Publishing. I mentioned that earlier in the broadcast. She will be on next Friday. And then October 23rd, which is another Friday, it's a special edition of the Legacy Book Bar Sip and Chat. So for those that know, that is actually Women's Week. And I decided, you know, I do authors every week because, you know, that's my audience. But I wanted to highlight some special business women in and around Baltimore. So on the 23rd, I will have Terry Butler of AAEW. I will have Kia Crowder of the Movement Team. And I will have Nicole Mosby Taylor of Empowered Women in Business International. These three amazing, beautiful, Black, talented women will be my guest on October 23rd. And then to end the month, on right before Halloween, we will have Malachi Bailey, and he writes the book Her, which is our fantasy sci-fi book right before Halloween. So you're going to want to make sure that you guys tune in the rest of this month to watch those amazing episodes. Now, here we go into November. Like, stay with me. We got a lot going on, okay? So for those that are probably just tuning in, that may be friends and family of Donna Michelle, and you don't know me personally, here's a little backstory. So I am an avid reader. I've said it throughout all of the broadcasts that I've had. And I realized that there was a need to find Black authors and be able to share their work. So I created Legacy Book Bar. It is an online bookstore based out of Baltimore, Maryland. We cater to, but not exclusive, but we cater definitely to our Black self-published authors in all genres. So November 1st, 2019, the website launched, and it was like, whoa, I'm a business store owner. It was super amazing. So I say that is the anniversary. And then February the 1st, to start Black History Month, Legacy Book Bar hit publish and the online store went live. So this year I decided that I wanted to host an annual book summit where we get authors from across the United States in multiple genres and have them talk about their books, the do's, the don'ts, the whys, the hows, the next book coming. But pre-COVID, it was supposed to be live and in person here in Baltimore. COVID has completely had us revamp and change our complete scheme. So this year, we're going to do it virtually. So you're going to come back here November 1st, Legacy Book Bar Facebook page, and you're going to see majority of the authors that are signed to Legacy Book Bar. Also, for my aspiring authors or authors that are looking to maybe rebrand themselves, a second segment for them will be later that day. And we're going to actually have traditional publishers, self-publishers, some graphic designs, some web designs to give you some tips and the do's and the don'ts of this book industry. So November 1st is going to be a very amazing event. It is going to be Legacy Book Bar's annual event in November. So you're going to want to make sure that you stay tuned to all of social media because, of course, we're going to need sponsors. And so we are having, if you are a business owner and you want to be sponsored on the live broadcast and on Legacy Book Bar social media page, there is a sponsorship package, very small fee, that you can send to Legacy Book Bar, and we will promote your business on our pages throughout that whole week and live on the broadcast. If you are an author that's not signed to Legacy Book Bar, but you want to have another opportunity to get your book showcased, you will also have an opportunity for a very small fee to come onto the show and be able to talk about your book. Whew, I feel like that was a lot, right? Are you still with me? Because I still got more to tell you guys about, okay? So, of course, we have, November sip and chat guests coming. I'll tell you more about that in the coming weeks. Legacy Book Bar will be on the move. So all 4 Saturdays in November and the first 3 Saturdays in December, Legacy Book Bar will be at White Marsh Mall for the holidays. So you're going to want to meet me at the mall and start to get those those Christmas presents, those birthday presents. You're going to want to meet me there. A lot of books are in stock, and this is why I'm not at White Marsh right now, because we need to restock. Okay. So, which is yay. Restock sounds amazing, right? So we're going to be back November 7th, right? I would be remiss if I didn't mention the virtual book clubs, because October is the last month for the virtual book clubs until 2021. So if you watched last week's broadcast, you'll realize that we had some technical difficulties with the author Elena Simone with The Concrete King. She gets a do-over next Saturday on October 17th. So if you want to register for that, you can do so on the website at legacybookbar.com. And we'll be talking urban fiction with The Concrete King. Then the following Saturday, we have not 1, but 2 virtual book clubs on the exact same day, right? Because I'm a rebel and I can do that, because why not? So the first book, our virtual book clubs are always held from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the first book of the day will be Alabama Sunrise by Gerald Johnson. Again, if you want to purchase this book, you can go to where, people? Legacybookbar.com. So you're going to want to purchase this and be ready for the book club October 24th. So then you're thinking, well, that doesn't look like Halloween. It's October. Where's the horror story? Where's like something to celebrate Halloween? Never fear. Your girl's got a horror story. So this is Dead Heat by author Ren Thompson. Ren Thompson has self-published under Mocha Memoirs Press, which I found by Googling, researching, networking, and this is a Black-owned self-publishing company. So how about this? If you've been listening, you have realized that Menina/Legacy Book Bar is not affiliated with 1, but 2 self-publishing companies, right? Divine Legacy Publishing and Mocha Memoirs Press. If you didn't know, that's everyone cheering in the background, right? It's great. I make my own side effects. It's great. This one is our evening virtual book club. This one will be from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. also on legacybookbar.com. So you could be a rebel like me and be a part of both book clubs for October, okay? Feel like that was a lot. Are you still there? Because I feel like you guys are still here. My viewership hasn't gone down, so that means I still have you, which is yay, great. So of course it's Halloween, and people are probably thinking she didn't mention anything about sales. Now I had those Halloween shop codes for paranormal, sci-fi, and horror. We have a nice selection of all 3 genres. Where can you purchase those? Legacybookbar.com. Shop codes BOO4U, BOO, the number 4 and the letter U. Purchase one of the books in one of those genres, or purchase one book from every genre, and you can get 10% off of your total. I still have you? Okay, great. So everyone that knows me knows I have a 9-to-5 as well as running this bookstore. So guess how excited I was when your books have been delivered email came through today, and I could not wait to rush home to see what books I ordered and what came in. So come to find out, after checking my emails, it was my babies. Their books that have been waiting have finally come in. So I want to briefly show you what books are coming to the store for our babies. Now, I'm a mother of 3. I have a young son. I have 2 a daughter that is 20, don't tell anybody, and a daughter that's 18, also don't tell anybody. I know that math didn't add up, and you were like, did she say a 20, an 18, and a 6? Yes, I did. Just pray for me, and this is why we sip and chat every week. Just go with it, okay? It's great. My parents are avid readers. My grandmother, before she passed, was an avid reader. So for me, growing up with books was a norm. It wasn't made to punish me, send me to my room with a book. I'm happy. Like that meant that wasn't a real punishment for me. So I've come to realize as an adult, I realized and I heard a lot of parents that kind of used reading as a punishment, and that should never be the case. Reading, learning new words is so powerful. And in this particular climate, it gets worse every generation. Our kids need to be powerful with the knowledge, and they're only going to get that when they're taught the proper history and they're able to read any and everything they can get their hands on. So Legacy BookBar does their best with getting books that are fun, that are entertaining, but as well as educational. So I'm going to show you some of the books that we have in stock that just came in today. So you guys that are on the call are getting a sneak peek into some of the books that came in today. So first I have Who Were the Tuskegee Airmen? This book just came in today. As adults, we know who the Tuskegee Airmen are, but how many of our babies know who these talented and brave men are? This book will be ready. It's now I think it's on the website, but it's not. It will be on by next week, but you'll also be able to purchase live at the next pop-up, which is November 7th. Okay. Then for my entertainment section, I have for my babies, because we are huge Marvel fans in my house, Spider-Man Miles Morales. So make sure, get this. We also have Black Panther. When that news hit, you know, I was a whole hot mess over here. I needed a whole 3 days to get myself together. So you can get Black Panther as well as Spider-Man Morales, because why not show our babies that we can be Black and we can be powerful and we can be superheroes and look good while we're doing it. So make sure you can get this on the website or at the pop-up, right? Then, of course, for our babies, we also have Princess and the Frog. And, I like brown babies. I like my Black babies. But I felt like this particular cartoon definitely resonated with our little girls. So, of course, I had to go get Moana, because girlfriend got onto a whole raft, went across the world to try to save her family. So why not get a book that shows bravery and shows a little color to the story, right? Then, of course, for our little boys, because, again, I have a 6-year-old, so I try to think of books that I think my 6-year-old would like to read and some of his friends. So we, of course, restocked Bippity Bop Barbershop. Tells the story of a little boy that's getting his very first haircut with his dad, and it's just an amazing, amazing story. So these are some of the books that have came in today. So Bippity Bop is definitely on the website. This is like a restock. It sells out like every 3 weeks, and I got to constantly restock. But this, if you want this one today for your brother, for your nephew, for your son, you can definitely order this one today. The other books will be on the website in the coming days. So do I still have you? Okay. Last but not least, so I am so thankful Legacy BookBar was able to sign another author this month, and I want to introduce her really quickly. We have author Bree Lynette, also of, listen up people, Divine Legacy Publishing. So Divine Legacy Publishing is now at author number 7. Okay? 7. We are slowly but surely going to get all 40 authors into the bookstore, okay? She just got her book. Her book actually launched also in 2019. I met her at the Divine Legacy annual book soiree in Durham, North Carolina last year. And her book, They Told Me to Love My Abuser, talks a lot about growing up in domestic violence and how that can shape your adulthood. This book is on the website today. You may purchase that at where again? Say it with me, legacybookbar.com. Purchase this today. Support Black-owned business and Black self-published authors. And another Black-owned business, Divine Legacy Publishing. So when you purchase this one book or any book specifically with Divine Legacy Publishing, you are supporting 3 businesses: Divine Legacy Publishing, the author that is self-published, and Legacy BookBar. How amazing is that? You can't get any better. The whole keep Black money, Black wealth into the community. This is one of the ways to be able to do this. So remember this broadcast, share with your friends, share with your family. People need to know that the market, that the need, that the resources are available if this is an industry that you want to get into. So thank you so much for being on the broadcast this evening. Thank you, everyone, for listening to everything I had to say this evening. I know it was a lot, and you hung in there with me. Thank you so much. Again, I post daily on social media, so if you miss something, it will be on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You may also go to the actual website to see more of what's in stock, again, at www.legacybookbar.com. Donna Michelle, you were an amazing guest. Thank you again so much. Again, if you want to purchase Chocolate in the City Parts 1 and 2, legacybookbar.com is the place to purchase those books. You guys have an amazing night. Stay safe if you're going out in the streets, and be back to next Friday with author Nikki Cherist. You guys have a great night, and I will catch you next week.